Many years ago, in a beautiful city called Abuja, there lived a young lady named Chisom. Chisom was very pretty, witty, and smart. She had gotten a job in Abuja, so she had to move from Enugu to Abuja immediately after she graduated from the university. And soon enough, she had made a new friend whose name was Chinelo at her place of work. Chisom and Chinelo found out that they were both from Nsukka in Enugu State, and this strengthened their bond of friendship even more. Chisom and Chinelo were literally besties. They hung out together after work and took turns in spending the weekend at each other's homes. However, Chisom and Chinelo were very different from each other. So whereas Chisom had very good morals and was also a virgin and waiting patiently till she got married, Chinelo on the other hand was not, and she had several boyfriends whom she shared her body freely with and had no restrictions whatsoever. Chisom was also very homely, and she looked forward to settling down with a good man and having children and building a beautiful home. But Chinelo on the other hand was looking forward to building her career and rising to the top. She was not looking forward to settling down anytime soon. And although Chisom also had lots of men flocking around her just like Chinelo, she just did not want to settle for anyone. She wanted to make sure that whoever she finally settled with was going to be a worthy husband and a worthy father to her unborn children. Chisom would usually say to her friend Chinelo, I can't wait to get married though. I mean, my man will be tall, dark, handsome, and very wealthy. And he will love me to stupor and spoil me silly. You know, this kind of fairy tale type of life. That is what I will live. And I know he would respect me even more when he finds out that I married him as a virgin. Chisom said, smiling. Well done, no, Auntie Virginia. I wish you the best of luck, but better don't build castles in the air. Marriage is not fairy tale, it's a lot of work. At least you can see some of our married colleagues in the office, especially Gloria. She's not having it funny at all. Chinelo replied. But Chisom paid no attention whatsoever to Chinelo. She decided that she was going to have a happy marriage and enjoy her marriage no matter what anybody says. So Chisom continued living happily and enjoying her life while waiting for her Mr. Perfect man. A few months later, Chisom met a young man called Azike. She was seated at a restaurant one day when Azike walked up to her and sat beside her and said, Hi, pretty lady. I saw you sitting all by yourself, and I know that I had to come say hello. My name is Azike, and I would love to get to know you. Please, what's your name? Azike asked, smiling. My name is Chisom, Chisom said, blushing, and they both chatted away for several hours. So the next day, Chisom had already updated her friend Chinelo about the handsome man that she had met the previous day and how she liked him, saying, Chinelo, Azike is my spec. Oh. Like, I already know that I'm in love with him. I already see the two of us becoming a power couple. I'm having beautiful children. Chinelo said, smiling and daydreaming. Ha, madam, be calming down now. Tell you're blushing for a man you barely met 24 hours ago. Besides, what about all your, I have to take my time to look for a worthy husband and responsible father. I cannot settle for less. Madam, where has all that gone to? Chinelo said, teasing her. See, I have the gift of discernment. Immediately I set my eyes on Azike yesterday. I just knew that he was the one. I'm telling you, my spirit tells me that he's the one. Chisom said, still blushing. Okay, Prophetess Chisom, but please be calming down and shine your eyes well. Chinelo replied her friend, and they both smiled. And so, over the next few weeks, Azike and Chisom were in constant communication. They spoke to themselves literally every single day and even hung out some evenings. Chisom was already completely smitten by Azike. Azike too. He was totally in love with Chisom. They were lovebirds. Chisom had also discovered that Azike was from the same village, Nsukka, as she was, and this sealed it for her. She knew that if Azike ever asked her to marry him, she was definitely going to say yes without thinking twice. One day, Chisom and her best friend Chinilo were gisting and laughing on a weekend when Chisom excitedly said, I can sense in my spirit that Zeke is about to propose to me. I've already started rehearsing how I will accept his proposal. I can't even lie. I'm super excited, Chisom said happily. Chisom, Chisom. How many times did I call you? You guys have not even dated up to 6 months. And you're here talking of marriage. You see, this is the issue I have with all these ladies that are so naive. Any small thing, you're already in love. Okay, tell me one thing that you know about him. What do you even know about him? Chinelo asked, looking at Chisom very concerned. I know everything about him now. He's a Christian. He's an IT guy and works in this bank and earns very well. And I also know his friends and they seem very responsible to me. Besides, he's also from Nsukka, just like us. And I asked my mom about his family and she knows them quite well. As a matter of fact, my mom said that their family is a very good and responsible one. What else is there to know about him again? I beg. Chisom replied happily. Okay, if you say so. But then, Chisom, are you not scared of getting married to someone from our village, Nsukka? Have you not heard about our tradition in Nsukka? That if a married woman who is married to someone from Nsukka cheats on her husband while married to him, that she would fall sick and ultimately run mad. Remember that Zike is also from Nsukka. Chisom, me, I don't think I will ever marry a man from Nsukka. Chinelo said, looking worried. Auntie, did I tell you that I had any plans of cheating on my husband? If as a single lady, I have never slept with any man, is it when I get married I will start sleeping around? I beg, that tradition does not apply to me. Chisom replied. But on a second thought, Chinelo, you should actually be very worried though, because you know now, you know yourself, Chisom said, and they both laughed. Get out, Jerry. I don't know why I'm even bothered. Not like I even have any plans of getting married soon. For now, it's upward ever in my career. And maybe later in the future, I would consider getting married, but definitely not to an Nsukka man. Chinelo replied, and they all laughed about it. A few months later, one fine evening, Azike had gone on his knees and proposed to Chisom, saying, "The queen of my heart, my morning sun, please will you marry me?" Azike asked excitedly. At that point, all the rehearsal that Chisom had done had failed her. "Yes, I will marry you, my love. Thank you, Chisom said as she hugged Azike tightly. Her best friend Chinelo was so happy for her, and in a few weeks, Chisom and Azike traveled down to their village Nsukka and had a very lavish traditional wedding ceremony, and then came back to Abuja to have a luxurious white wedding ceremony. Chisom was so happy, she was over the moon. Her friend Chinelo was also very happy for her too. A few weeks later, Chisom had resumed back to work from her honeymoon. She had the newly wedded wife glow. All her colleagues welcomed her and teased her with, "New wife, our wife, oh." They were all just super excited to see her. And so, every day Chisom came to the office or met her best friend Chinelo, it was always, "My husband did this. My husband did that. My husband bought this. Or my husband did this for me." Chisom would go on and on singing the praises of her husband. And Chinelo would always tease her back and say, Chisom, pity me now. Do you want to suffocate me with this your love? Every time, "My husband did this. My husband did that." Wahala for all the singles who will not get man. Chinelo would always say, teasing her friend, and they would both laugh. So Chisom continued to live happily and enjoy the love and affection of her husband. In barely 3 years after they got married, their family had grown, as Chisom had given birth to 2 beautiful baby girls named Michelle and Francesca. Chisom's heart was so full, This was what she had always dreamt of all her life. A husband who loved her, and healthy children, and a beautiful home. Chinelo, on the other hand, was really happy for her friend. And although Chinelo was not yet married, she was advancing really quickly in her career. She had already been promoted twice in a space of barely 3 years. And Chinelo and Chisom remained very good friends and still found time to gist and catch up, despite their very busy schedules. However, things began to change pretty quickly for Chisom. She began to notice that her husband began to keep late nights and even began to shout and scold at her for no reason. So Chisom got very worried. Their home, which was once a very peaceful and loving one, was beginning to turn into a war zone. Chisom had gone severally to plead with her husband Azike, saying, "My husband, Dimoma, why have you changed like this towards me? Please, whatever I have done to warrant this, please forgive me, or at least tell me so I can change my ways." Chisom would say, crying. But Azike would pay no attention to her pleas, and he kept on keeping late nights and scolding Chisom at the slightest provocation. So Chisom turned to prayers. She would pray and cry, asking God to intervene in her marriage and turn the heart of her husband back to her. Chisom also tried her best to hide her marital problems from her best friend Chinelo. But one day, Chisom had come to work wearing a dark sunshade because her eyes were swollen from excess crying. Chisom had tried her best to avoid her best friend Chinelo, but it was impossible, as Chinelo walked up to her and said, "Madam, this one you are wearing sunshades inside the office. What kind of nonsense fashion sense is that one?" Chinelo said, reaching out to take the glasses from Chisom. But Chisom immediately stopped Chinelo from removing her glasses, saying, "No, no, 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 please, please, don't touch my glasses." And immediately, Chinelo got very alarmed and said, "I hope Azike did not lift a finger on you. Remove those glasses now. I want to see your face." Chinelo said, already fuming with anger. "No, no, no, no. Azike did not hit me. He will never do a thing like that." Chisom said as she gently removed her glasses to reveal her swollen eyes. "My eyes are swollen because I've literally been crying all through last night and this morning, and I didn't want anyone to see me like this." Chisom replied sadly, "Oh, I'm so sorry. What is troubling you? Please tell me about it. And please do not leave a single detail behind though." Chinelo replied, looking very worried. And so, Chisom went ahead and narrated everything that had been happening in her home, then said, "I think my husband is cheating on me. I think Azike is cheating on me," Chisom said as she broke down in tears. All these men safe. Men will just stain your whites. Really, I honestly thought Azike was one of the good ones. Apparently, I'm wrong again. Anyway, is that why you're crying? Please wipe your tears, Jerry. First things first. Know this and know peace. You're not responsible for the actions of a grown man. If he's cheating on you, then it's on him, not on you. It just shows his lack of integrity and unfaithfulness. So don't even bother beating yourself down for his own actions. You should be the one to take responsibility for them and own up to his actions, not you. What I want you to do is to keep focusing on yourself and your personal growth. And if you choose to forgive him, that's completely up to you," Chinelo said, trying to pacify her friend. But Chisom just kept on crying and crying. However, a few months later, and things had even gotten worse between Chisom and her husband Azike. Azike was still cheating on Chisom, and Chisom was still always crying. It was now so bad that she was always in and out of the hospital, treating one infection or the other. Chinelo just continued to encourage and console her friend. But Chisom was so heartbroken. She had felt betrayed by Azike. This was not the life that she had dreamt of. Chisom would always cry herself to bed. However, Azike was becoming bolder. He was now bringing his side chicks home, and Chisom had just had enough. So one day she went to her friend's house and said, "Chinelo, I am tired. I am tired of praying and hoping for my husband to change or even ignoring him. How much more hurt am I expected to endure? How much more pain should I take? Chisom asked, crying and weeping. See, I want to pay him back in his own coin. I want to do something that will hurt him very well. See, this man that I kept myself for is now the one sleeping with everything on skirt. See me now. I'm a very beautiful woman. Many men want me, yet I'm the one refusing them. I know what I'm going to do. Since my husband has decided to have side chicks, Abby, me, I will have a side man. That way, he will feel very jealous. After all, whatever is good for the goose is also good for the gander, Chisom said, crying. Ah, no, 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 no. No, don't stoop so low because of a man. He's not worth it, Chisom. Besides, you know that this is not you. Also, have you forgotten our custom, our tradition, that in Nsukka, a woman cannot commit adultery. If not, she will run mad. Chinelo said, looking worried. What kind of stupid custom is that one that will make a married woman who cheats run mad and do nothing to a married man who cheats? That custom is unfair. Besides, I feel like it's just a myth. It's not true. It's not even possible. Besides, you are not even in the village. You are in Abuja. So how will the thing even affect me? Chisom replied defensively. Ha, it's not a myth, though. Please just erase that thought of cheating from your mind. I beg you in the name of God. Chinelo said, pleading with her friend. But all Chinelo's pleas and words fell on deaf ears, as a few weeks later, Chisom found herself a side man or a side cock and slept with him just to spite her husband. But Chisom felt so shocked that rather than feel good about what she had done, she felt terrible and she wept profusely and swore that she was never going to stoop so low to desecrate herself again, irrespective of whether her husband changed or not, and that she was no longer going to let his actions weigh her down. So from that day, Chisom continued to live her life to the fullest and paid no attention whatsoever to her husband. So about 2 months later, Chisom was at the office one day, gisting and catching up with her friend Chinelo. When Chinelo brought up the discussion of the Nsukka tradition again, saying, you see why I cannot marry from our place in Nsukka? It's not as if I'm planning to cheat on my future husband though. But if I now mistakenly cheat on him, Unko, I will now run mad just like that. Then him that is intentionally cheating on me, nothing will happen, Abi. Pico, I'm not cut out for that nonsense. Nsukka men should carry their wahala and go, Chinelo said, looking disgusted. Shh, let me tell you something. Shebi, I told you that tradition is a myth. Remember that time I told you I was going to get a side man, a side cock, that you advised against it because of this tradition? Chisom asked. Yes, of course. I remember. And I remember that I warned you not to do it, didn't I? Chinelo replied sarcastically. Well. I'm not proud of it though. But I actually cheated on my husband. And see me now, it's been over 2 months. Am I mad? Did I not tell you that tradition, a custom, is a myth? It's not true. Chisom whispered. Jesus, it's a lie. Ah, Chisom, why did you do such a thing now, Chinelo screamed, looking very afraid. Ha, calm down now, calm down. It's not that deep. Am I not the one seated with you here? Am I sick, Abi? Am I mad, Chisom responded. But before the words were done flying out of Chisom's mouth, Chisom was suddenly struck with madness. And Chisom began to act strangely and began to scream, come and do, come, I'm available. Come and do something, come, I'm available. Chisom chanted, running all over the office and behaving insane like a mad person. Everyone in the office gathered to stare at Chisom in shock. They had never seen something like this before. And immediately, Chinelo fell to the floor, crying and screaming, saying, Chisom, Shebi, I warned you, Chinelo said, crying. So with the help of her colleagues, they were able to subdue Chisom and take her back to her home. Chinelo had already called Azike and Chisom's parents and told them all that had happened. Azike, upon getting back to his house, after seeing his mad wife, displaying her madness and shouting, "Come and do, oh, come and do something. I'm available." He already knew what had happened and he got very upset and said, "Oh, so my wife there sleeps with another man? Thank God for our custom and tradition. I will never forgive this woman. You people should bundle this thing and take her out of my house." Azike shouted angrily. So Chinelo had no choice but to move Chisom, her best friend, with the help of bystanders, to her own home while she awaits the arrival of Chisom's parents so they can take her. Chinelo kept on crying and wailing, saying, "Shebi, I want this girl. I want you, Chisom. I want you, but you will not listen. Now see what has befallen you," Chinelo said, crying. So later that night, Chisom's parents arrived Abuja and were in Chinelo's house. Immediately they set their eyes on their daughter, manifesting madness and shouting, "Come and do, come and do." Tears began to flow from their eyes. They were very grateful to her friend Chinelo for holding her and not allowing her to take her madness to the market. As there is a saying that when a mad person goes to the market, the madness can never be cured. So in a few days, Chisom's parents made arrangements and took her back to their village so they could perform several rituals to appease the gods so that their daughter's sanity would be restored. So Chisom stayed back in the village with her parents for several months so they could perform several rituals, while her parents tried to also nurse her back to good health. Chinelo, on the other hand, had gone to Azike to request that he hands over Chisom's daughters to him so she can take care of them, pending when Chisom was stable and becomes well again. Azike gladly released the children to her, as he was even tired of taking care of them. He wanted freedom, and these tiny children were going to be a hindrance to his desired freedom. So Chinelo took her best friend's children and took very good care of them. Azike, on the other hand, became like a dog that had been released from its cage. He kept on jumping from one woman's bed to the other. But unfortunately for him, one day he had gone to visit and spend the night at one of his numerous side chicks called Linda. But unknown to him, that he was Linda's side man and that her main boyfriend named Ife was a cultist, an armed robber, and a kidnapper. So at midnight, Azike woke up only to see some men standing and staring at him. He immediately woke Linda up. "Linda, wake up." And Linda, upon seeing Ife, quickly distanced herself away from Azike and started crying and saying, "Babe, I don't know him. I don't know him." Linda said, crying, "Ah, you don't know me, Ke?" Azike said, stuttering, "You know me now. Come on, shut up. So you get mind, Abi? You come my house, they sleep with my babe." Ife said angrily, and then ordered his boys to beat up Azike. Azike begged and begged, but all his pleas fell on deaf ears. And after they had beaten him blue black, they dropped him in front of the gates. Azike was too weak to move a muscle. So the following morning, passers-by surrounded him and rushed him to the hospital. But it was too late because he had sustained some internal injuries and died. 6 months later, Chisom had fully recovered and came back to Abuja City. She was so grateful to her friend Chinelo for taking care of her children in her absence. She heard all that had happened to her husband, but felt no remorse whatsoever. It was good riddance to bad rubbish. She was just very happy that she had survived and all her children were fine. She also resumed back at the office and was once again very happy. Hi besties, it's your girl Omalicha again. So thank you for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. What do you think about this Nsukka custom and tradition? Do you think it's fair that a man can cheat and there's no repercussion whatsoever? And a woman, if she cheats, then she runs mad? Does this really mean that it's a man's world? I would like to hear your opinions on this one. And if you're from Nsukka, please shed more light and tell us if this custom is still as effective as it was years back, even now. So tell us, does this still happen? And please support your homegirl Omalicha by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now until I come your way again with more interesting stories, bye.